morning show producer for KARK and Fox 16. My bachelor's degree was in mass communications and my master's degree is in journalism. Before I decided to go to school full time, I was working at a good job, paying well, but I knew that this is what I wanted to do. And when my husband and I looked at our finances, we figured out a way for me to quit my job so that I can pursue my dream of working in news. And so that was a challenge for us initially because, we have to adjust now to one income. But we made it work. Ever since I can remember, I've wanted to work in news. I don't ever remember wanting to do anything else. Initially, I wanted to be on air, and I got a chance to shadow someone at a news station, and I saw the photographers, and I saw all this behind-the-scenes stuff, and I was like, wait, that's better than being on air. I would rather do that. So I transitioned from wanting to be an on-air personality to having a desire to work behind the scenes. I was in a program when I attended UALR that helped women find mentors in their field, and I didn't have a mentor for journalism. So the lady who was over the program, she was a friend to the news director, who was the news director at the time. And that's how she connected me to him. And he asked, would you like to do an internship? And I said, sure, because why wouldn't I? He did leave, and after I graduated, I came back and asked for a job. And eventually I was hired. I wasn't hired right away, but because I was remembered and I had good connections, people that I had worked with during my internship were able to speak on my behalf, and I was hired as an associate producer initially. During my internship, I didn't do nothing related to producing. I started out shadowing the producers, but I mostly worked with the photographers and I worked with the production crew. And the production crew, they go out and they shoot commercials. They kind of work with the salespeople and shoot the ads that you see on TV during our show. So that's who I worked with. For me, it happened pretty quickly. Actually, before I graduated, I had made a timeline for myself. A certain time after graduating, I wanted to have a job. I wanted to be in a producer position. I knew I wouldn't be hired straight out of school into a producer position, but I was hired initially as an associate producer. And almost 6 months to the day of my hire, I was promoted to being a producer for the morning show, which was a big accomplishment because the morning show is a pretty big show. And it made me feel good that my news director felt confident that I could pull this off because I'm the only single producer for a 2-hour show here. I had applied for jobs at Fox 16 when it was on Colonel Glenn, when it was just Fox 16 by itself. And I believe I was about to be hired, but I got a call from the person who interviewed me saying that they were holding off on hiring for that position at the time. I love UALR. I'm grateful for UALR, honestly, because it really prepared me. My instructors and my professors always encouraged me, and they were real. They were honest about what to expect when you leave. They even taught me how to give a proper handshake. And as I worked in this field, I meet people every day. I have to come in contact. I go to lunch meetings with people, and you would be surprised at how important knowing how to shake someone's hand is. So UALR played a big role in where I am now. They taught me every aspect of it, and I appreciate that. It prepared me, but being in the real work environment and having to do it every day was nowhere near what it was like in school. But it did help me understand, because especially the writing aspect, you don't realize as a producer how big writing is. And I basically learned how to write for news at UALR. The KARK morning show is a 2-hour show. It's a 3-hour show, but there are 2 producers who work on that show. I have an executive producer and an associate producer who help me, but I am the producer who's responsible for the show ultimately.
She's just a really positive person. She wants to put the best product on air as possible, which you really admire about a producer. It's really personal for her. It's her show, it's her product. If something goes wrong, you know, she takes it personally sometimes, which, you know, that can be a little rough on her, but you admire her passion and the fact that she wants to do a good job.
I love working here. I love the work that I do, and I'm grateful for the opportunity to do it.